Hi, I'm Matt Singer. I'm the arts and culture editor at Willamette Week, and today I am speaking with Elle Stanger. She is a Portland-based sex worker, sex educator, writer, podcast host. Elle, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Matt, for having me.
Awesome. So I wanted to start by asking, so you dance at the Lucky Devil Lounge, which I think has probably received more attention during this pandemic than any other Portland business because of its sort of business pivots. First, for starting a kind of stripper food delivery service, and now for doing what's essentially a drive-through strip club. I wanted to ask you, as somebody who's danced there for a long time, what has that sort of adjustment been like for you working there?
Well, I will say, so I have danced at the Lucky Devil Lounge for 11 years this June. I've danced in 6 other clubs around Portland, and I've been privy to about 30 of them. And I would say that Lucky Devil gets a lot of media for other reasons. So we're no stranger to media, but this is probably the most viral we've ever been. We've been in the media for our zombie stripper night. We've been in the media because cars keep crashing into the building.
Right.
And yeah, so, but yeah, it feels like a very unique position to be in, where so many things about the industry are stagnant for us. We can't go to shifts. We aren't interacting with our customers or our coworkers the same. And then also to have so much attention and media on us. So there's a lot of misunderstanding, I think, that's going on because folks see a lot of media coverage and they assume that we're all making a ton of money. And I wish that was the case. I am grateful for coverage. I think everyone at the venue currently working is, because it's advertising and people see it and they want to come through and support. But we're all making like a small fraction of anything we did prior to this.
So as you noted, you're obviously not making nearly as much money as you were before, and so you've been supplementing your income by doing more webcam work at home.
Mm-hmm.
You said you've dabbled in previously, but it's become a little bit more of what you've been doing to, kind of keep the money coming this time. But platforms like Zoom and Skype, I understand, have not been really making it easy for sex workers to pivot to doing virtual work. Can you talk a little bit about what some of those challenges are and what they've been?
So Skype specifically, and a lot of web and internet, or I'm sorry, Skype specifically, but lots of media platforms changed their terms of service in April or May, or after that in 2018, after a couple bills were signed into law called FOSTA and SESTA. So Skype has actually been spying on their users' video chats for 2 years, looking for nudity or obscenity. FOSTA and SESTA was supposedly going to cut back on sex trafficking, but what it did was it holds anyone liable for adult-oriented content. It holds the platforms liable, and the platforms don't want to be held liable for prostitution or, say, trafficking if that's going on. So they just ban it entirely. So this is why it's not safe or secure to use Skype or FaceTime video or many other of these platforms that are not end-to-end encrypted, because that means a moderator could look at it at any time and deactivate your account. I never used Skype for, actually, that's not true. I used Skype for sex shows, like mutual masturbation or chatting with me and clients 3 times, okay? I used it more for consultation and sex education meetings and trainings. My Skype was still deactivated. I'm not going to contest it. But this is a lot to learn for people who have no idea about any of this, and they don't know that the government has always criminalized much adult work between consenting adults anyway.
And there is a sort of added personal element here with your story, in that you have an 8-year-old daughter at home. Can you tell me a bit about how you are navigating that right now, and sort of how you talk to her about what you do for a living?
My daughter slowly learns about mommy's work in what is age appropriate context. So when she was little, I would drive by the strip club and say, that's the building where mommy dances for money. There's the building where your daddy makes shoes, you know, your parents work. So as she's gotten older, I've explained to her that in our culture, it's very special and rare that people are naked unless they're, you know, showering or something else. So when people come to mommy's work, I'm either dancing in my underwear or costumes or naked because it's amazing and interesting and people are grateful, so they give me money. So she knows that mommy dances for money and that I talk to people and give hugs and tell jokes. When she gets older, I will explain to her that I've also touched other people's bodies in other ways. It was consensual. And so, you know, while explaining to her that some of mommy's work is legal, some of it is not legal, all of it is consensual, and sometimes the people who make the rules don't know what's best for the populations they make them about.
What do you think the long-term effects of this pandemic are going to be on the sex work industry?
Some people's lives will be dramatically changed and they will be unable to work the ways they were previously. Some people will have to move and find other work. Some people are taking care of family members. Some people's clients got sick. There's already a couple of venues that are closing that won't survive this, and in restaurant too, not just the adult industry. So I think overall, the landscapes of many of our industries are going to change. Sex work is always changing because the technology is always changing, and there's always different movements, mostly against us, to try to criminalize or limit the work or restrict it. So I wish I knew what the future held. I know that when I started stripping 11 years ago, I was told, who already had been, that it was the worst time to enter the industry after the recession. And especially because of the rise of internet and social media, the accessibility to seeing naked women in various mediums, less people were leaving their houses to go to the club. So there's always variables.
When you're not working, what have you been doing to keep yourself occupied?
I'm finding new ways to do sex work in different mediums. So, you know, there's folks who've never been to a strip club for many reasons. Either there's none in their area where they feel safe to go, or, you know, maybe they're afraid someone will see them there or whatever. But this way, I've actually had people from around the country and around the world ask if I do custom videos. So I am so glad that I invested in a quality stripper pole a few years ago for my home. And I've been making individual clips in like a high resolution that I email to people. They're edited. It's like song of your choice. So that's been really also just kind of fun requests anyway. I had someone ask me if I would send a video of me stepping on cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I smoke joints. So I said, can they be cannabis butts? And he said, sure. People are into so many different things.